This video is a couple hours long because we're going to go through the whole process of me learning color grading in Davinci Resolve. Let's take a look at the final result of the title sequence that I ended up making once I learned these skills. I recorded the entire raw process for over 6 hours worth of video across the 3 main segments, and you're welcome to check those out. I'll put the links in the descriptions. There's also a short overview video where I go behind the scenes and cover the whole thing within just a few minutes if you'd rather check that out. Why don't we hop into the video and get started? Okay, then we're rolling, and today we're going to go ahead and do something different on Tech-Multiverse, where you're going to actually walk through my learning process by watching me learn. I'm going to set up this video with the goal of learning color grading. I've been working in Davinci Resolve for over a year now, and about a year and a half, I guess. And one thing I know that Davinci Resolve is known for is its color grading, which is the incredible, like, I don't know, these tools just geek me out for some reason. I love them. But basically, I've set things up so I have a target in mind where we're going to color grade some images that I've already set up here. I've done a lot of this work so you don't have to sit here and watch me go through this, but the main goal is to take something rather creepy, videos that are creepy to me. It's like I've done a composite overlay of a video of birds with a windmill. So just take the windmill out, or, you know, just basically that's what you're seeing. It's pretty freaking obvious. But what I really want to do is sort of try and tie these different variations together into something cohesive. So we've got a blue skull, a orange skull with the crow in the background, and then also birds again in the clouds, which for some reason this just weirds me out when you're watching birds with hyperlapse clouds. It's kind of unnerving, just like birds with a windmill. It's like you're just waiting for one to get hit, but obviously this isn't real. But there isn't much of a story behind my title sequence other than just learning, and I figured these were kind of some interesting images that I'm going to play with. I've got some ideas for this one too. But if I can tie them all together, being different color schemes and using the composite aspect of things, which I've got videos that I've watched. I've already put them in a playlist. I'll put the playlist link in the description for you. These are the 3 videos that I watched to get where I'm at, and we'll be referencing them as we go because this guy's got some really good stuff in his video. I'm setting these up so you can actually see the title and give them appropriate credit, but also make it easy for you to find. And then on the other side of things, I'm using stock videos from Pixabay. Basically, I just went and picked some random ones. My story is not cohesive itself. There is no real story behind this. It's just giving me something to work with. But I really wanted to find out if I can how this works with composited images, as I said. So let's see, is there anything else? Took some notes to make sure I covered all the details. This is how this video is going to go. It's going to be raw. I'm going to sit here and talk my way through the learning process. So I hope you find it interesting. So yeah, let's get to it. I was really having a hard time hitting that record button, and now I'm live. I got to get into the mode here. So let's get moving. All right. So we've got this crow, which I just love this scene. If we hop over here, one of the things that I like to do initially is I've already come in here and got familiar with the interface. I kind of know where things are, like the fact that you can get to the keyframes on the timeline here. We're not going to worry about any of that, but you can see the scopes, which this one, I've seen these for audio too, and they just drive me nuts. I love them. But for example, here, you can see, well, let's go back to this one. Is this it? Yeah, I guess it was very similar here. That's funny. These 2 images are very similar on the scope side. So anyway, the fact that you've got your whites are at the top and your darks, your blacks are at the bottom, and flattening out like that means that they're clipping. And so I learned you can pull them down, and I've spent probably a half hour playing with these settings and lift them up. Well, let's see, my mouse is all over the place. Here we go. But I found in one of the more advanced videos, which was one like this, you can actually watch the guy go through and create this S curve here. You can see, zoom that in. See how he's creating the S curve with the levels? That was one of the things that seems to be consistent. I thought, well, let's try that out. So let's give that a shot here and see how that works. We're just gonna do the bird in the background here. I'll darken that up a little bit and kind of try and tweak things so that we see more of an S. Let's see. Yeah. Bringing this down. And really, a lot of what I've found myself doing is just find myself. I'm so used to, I like to just run the settings to the max and the mins, and sort of see how that changes things. So then all of a sudden you kind of notice, hey, there's a cool spot right there. What happens if I go this way? That has some interesting effects. And in fact, let's just leave that a little bit. Let's bring up the darks. No, I like it a little more saturated. I don't know if that's a good thing. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. Our senses are not the same across all of us. There are people who are audiophiles who can hear every tiny little nuance. There's people who can see tiny little nuances on screen. Well, not everyone's, capable of seeing what you're seeing. If you're an audiophile and you have very high sensitivity to the sounds, it's different for someone who deals with a constant ringing in their ears. At a certain frequency, you don't hear things anymore. So it's just, I like to make sure that what I'm going to go through isn't going to be exact. I am not a perfectionist in any of this. I just want something that looks good. And both eyes and ears may let me down sometimes, so hopefully this all turns out. So anyway, enough of my accessibility rant. It's important. Be inclusive, people. Make stuff for everybody. Okay, so let's do something here because I was just kind of playing around. You can see we've got our S curve here, but I want to go ahead and reset this because one of the things that I'd learned was to use a node for different features. Like you can right click and hit new node. Where's a node? Add a node. Add a serial node. Here we go. So then I can name this one. I don't know how you rename it. Rename. I would assume right clicking. Well, is it right in front of my face? See, delete node, cache, color space, channels, add matte, composite, nope. Huh. Well, this is why we have Gemini open, so let's just ask. In Davinci Resolve color grading, how do you rename a node? Alright, so rename a node is referred to adding a node label. Oh, right click on the node. So it was right clicking, just adding a node label. So, okay. Well, hopefully that was fun to learn with me. Super easy. What did I want to call this? Curves. So that's one of the things I'm going to talk about real quick is I've seen in these videos where like this complex node arrangement this was one of the things this guy's advanced video has. He's got a very particular setup he does, and I may go in and I actually want to try that particular setting that he did on this first node, or maybe it was the second one. I think it was the second one. But I was going to just name this one curves because I wanted to bring back that curve that I had done. So we're going to redo that. I'm going to be struggling to take my glasses on and off, and we're going to get close. So hopefully all this records well. Let's bring this here, and not even, am I on that image? Yeah. I'm not seeing any changes. Why am I not seeing any changes? Well, this is what we got to figure out. So I don't know what the hell I did. Okay, I know that node. Just delete that node. Can we change the, there we go. Interesting. Reset node. How about we delete that node? And I think if it's anything like Touch Designer, oh, I saw an add node. Corrector. Oh, see, okay, so I didn't know that there were different node types. Let's undo what we had. All I remember seeing anybody do in those videos was to add a node and add like a serial node. So, I don't know. Do I really want to waste my time learning this part here? There was a way to do it. Yeah. Alright. So, can I node label this again and go curve? And then can I control this? There we go. Alright. One of the things that I think I remember is that in that more advanced video, the guy talks about the node order, and I know that's a thing with anything I've ever used with nodes. Node order matters. Add a serial node here. So I can add a few. Just add another node. So that's probably why we're seeing these networks here where if you've ever watched my fusion video, you bring in certain things and then you merge them all, and then basically you're bringing all these things into this one particular thing. Properties. You're just merging properties, really, is all it is. I don't know if that makes sense from an object-oriented programming point of view. But that's not what this video is about. But that's really what's happening under the hood. You're just taking objects and you're orienting them. So anyway, let's see if we can bring back this S-curve. How long is this going to take me to get an S-curve going? Hopefully not very long. Where was I? I liked the deeper look. Even if I go left and right. And I don't know, I think I want to bring up some of the details in the, nope, that just washes it out. There's another thing I'm going to talk about, which is we're using these royalty-free images, which honestly the most important part of color grading is probably making sure you've got the best quality imagery you can have. You know, they're showing log images. That's good enough for now. They were showing log images in one of the tutorials. It might even be this one here.
I'm gonna,
if you start off, basically the log image is kind of washed out, and I guess they're like better for color grading, and like if you're doing real production, unlike what I'm doing, which is just more art than anything and practicing skills. If I had log images, great. I can take my phone or my drone and make raw images, which are apparently also really valuable. However, those are very, very heavy in the file size. I'm gonna go ahead and just mute everybody. He doesn't use music, but yeah, let's leave him unmuted. Okay. Anyway, distraction time. I think I'm going to try and edit this so it's not completely boring when I go rambling on and on, which I just did. So I set up my curve node. I kind of like where it's heading. It's not super great, but you know, it can change things to be better. One thing I don't want is that ground to show up in the fence. That means that I'm probably going to go leverage another tutorial that I found just for this, because I knew I was going to want to do this, so I figured why not do this in the video. But so, you know, actually I feel like I gotta do it, because this ground is just getting in the way. I mean, sure, I can take this image and add some nodes for it just because. Add a serial node, we'll add a label, node label, and we'll call it curves. And then we'll muck around with these guys and see if we can come up with something fun. I don't know. I'm not even sure what to look at. Do I look at the image? Do I look at the scope here? Obviously, I think the image is the most important thing, but I like watching the scope. Maybe I adjust the image so I can make this darker and make that go away, which is not bad, but it's still in the way of the fence. I really want the fence there and just the skull to sort of hover, so I think I'm definitely going to crop that out. Oh, by the way, do you drive a loud car? Maybe one day you can drive by and you can hear yourself on YouTube. There's going to be a lot of that. Everybody likes to drive loud cars, and I live right off of a main road. Nothing like having somebody driving a Formula 1 race car at 5:50 in the morning. It's a good thing I'm up. But I feel bad for everyone else in the neighborhood. Is this a rant? It's okay. I'm not too sure what I'm doing with this color thing here. I'm sort of happy with where I'm at. Drink of water. But we're going to go ahead and hop over to this gradient masking thing. So let me copy the URL from my notes and go over here. And God. So I used to have a kitty. Poor kitty. She looked just like that. But what I'm doing is I want to create the mask effect. So to where basically the crow and the skull are together. And what was cool is that this is all done in the color page. He shows you do the composite thing just like we did, get everything lined up, which we have. And then you come into the color page and you use this node down here. He circles that node and drags it to that. Oh, there must have been something he did before then. Hang on. Oh yeah, he right-clicked. Rote-clicked. He rote-click it. Clicked it. Please don't. Any accents I do are a term of endearment, by the way. I work with people all over the world, so I never want anyone to be offended. And I'm waiting for him. Here we go. Add alpha output. That's annoying. See, accessibility, how the hell am I supposed to read that? I hope that comes in clear for you, and I hope that the zooming in helps. Probably breaks it up real funky. But let's do this. Add alpha output. Okay, so that puts that little node there, and then he's going to circle the node and drag the node to it. Okay, we've created a nice little thing. Created a thing, a dashed line, and we're gonna shaky. I don't think he uses music. I could probably unmute him.
So then we just need to add our gradient. Now that's really easy as well. All you need to do, come down to this middle menu here, And you want to select this one here, which is a window.
Yeah, I remember now. Okay. So I need to create the line. And then I come down to the middle menu, go to this one. Layout's a little different, but I get it. And then now that's where I can rotate this. Woo! There we go. That's much better. And I can reposition this. Man, that was easy. Dude. Hell yeah. And then I can extend it or shrink it. Make it tighter. And yeah, I could probably that's good enough, I think. I'm gonna save this. Save every few minutes. I don't remember if Davinci saves automatically or not. I'm not loving the look of this though. I gotta tweak something. I think, yeah. Okay, so I called this curves and then I go and apply a mask to it. So that's fun. I bet I gotta be careful with the node order of things here. Let's go ahead and go back to my, where the hell was I? Curves. And go back to this. And go to this node. Or was it this node? Yeah, here we go. And let's see if I can, now that we've hidden that floor, does it really make any difference? Do I go darker? I want some detail in the eyes. I don't want, I mean, this is just looking shoddy. I think there's just too much green here, so I know that all right, let's try something here. Now I don't want to bring this up because this will wash it out, but what happens if I go, whoa, guess my mouse, there we go, left and right matters, remember? And I was drifting. So maybe now bring up, I don't know, I'm just kind of fiddling here. See how this works when you play it. It's not bad. It's kind of creepy. There was a point when he goes and looks at the skull. The skull's barely turning. There you go. Now you're looking at it like, what the hell is that? Oh my god. How's that looking? Not great. There's just too much green in the, let's see, and I'm using screen composite because of the black background of the original. Oh yeah, I forgot, I got a timeline set up for basics so you can actually see this. Check this out. Let's go. Yeah, I forgot I did this. Let's go into the color grading on this timeline, the basic timeline, where I have each one of them individually laid out so I can muck around. Oh, you know what's super cool is, God, do you want to watch me do a S-curve a third time? Yes, you do, because that's what I'm going to do. Gonna go ahead and add a node, serial. I remembered something about creating stills. I've only used stills before, like in the past, to create a thumbnail. If I wanted to create a thumbnail of this image, I'd grab a still, and then I'd export that still. Little did I know you can drag these onto images and apply them to each other, to them somehow. Anyway, that came out of those videos. Hopefully this swiping doesn't drive you nuts. It's like a cool transition effect, right? Yeah. That's bright. Okay. thinking, what do I want? I wanted to show how, because in my main timeline, I have the bird a couple of times. Let's go look at this. The bird is on the blue, and the bird is on the orange. And I think it would be useful to try and see if the same color settings work, how they differ between the orange and the blue. Oops. So that said, I'm going to go to the basic timeline, and I'm going to redo the freaking curves with this image by itself, which was my intent all along. I just forgot as I got started. And just make this look good. Okay, I see some high points here. So I'm going to bring this down. There we go. Apparently that's clipping. That's not good. And this is better. I'll try and zoom in on that so you can see it happening. And then same with the bottom side. I don't have any problems with the dark levels. Ew, my mouse. Freaking wireless mouse. I just charged it not too long ago to make sure it's behaving. Let's see, I just want to keep tweaking this. Does it matter? It might. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. It does matter. Well, I guess the whole point is to get this dialed in the way I like it, but I really kind of am starting to feel like this isn't the same experience as an individual image. I'm already noticing this. This felt different than doing it on the main timeline where I can see the composite happening live. I mean, can we see the difference between these two curves? This one's pretty damn dark. And, see basic. I mean, those lights are hot. They're just hot. So I don't know. Sorry, I'm gonna try and make sure that I keep talking while I'm thinking, because that's probably a big problem if I'm gonna record myself. You're just gonna watch me work on the screen here. No words whatsoever, Rob? Really? I don't know. This isn't great. This just doesn't feel great. But I think it's just the basic, boring, static image. Sure, it's probably not that great. Image to or video, I keep calling it an image. For some reason, I see color grading as imagery. I'm used to doing this with static images. Yeah. What am I even trying to say? I think at this point, maybe this is where we go find some of the advanced techniques. So I gotta swoop over here, and there was a way to get some really the initial color correction stuff. Let's see here. I don't think he's got music going.
Contrast, and I want to start massaging my contrast just a little bit more. So I'm going to grab it from here. I'm going to pull this down.
I think he's already done this piece right here. So let's go back a little bit. Oh yeah, he's talking about it right here. Because here's where he's talking about the Kodak film.
Blockbuster, epic looking.
Yeah, to get that blockbuster, epic looking thing, this is what you do. He's got another tutorial that goes into basics that he recommends you watch, and I have not watched it, but I feel like I know exactly what he's doing here. I just need to remember where he finds it. So, okay, there it was. Let's back up a smidge. Oh man, that was supposed to be just a smidge. There we go. Okay, pause. This is the hardest part for me on tutorials, is finding exactly where they were. We're gonna go any second now. He's gonna come over here and he's gonna click that and he's gonna use that color space transform. Probably help if I were in 1080p here, huh? Am I not? What the hell? I can't even find the reset. Quality. Ooh, he's got 4K, bro. Now I can zoom in. Color space transform. And that is under, you see the ACES thing that comes up in the 101 lesson. This is the library effects, I think. Yes, because you got the node screen and effects. So let's do that. God, this must be boring. Add a node, add a serial, and we'll go to effects, and we're gonna go ahead and call this one. Oh, can I not? Can I not? What's going on? Okay, fine. Windows. Let's update the label, because this is where we're going to put our color correction node label. He said called it CT. I forget why. I think because it's color space transform, and he drags it out and puts it on here. Boom. And then he goes and picks some stuff that we got to watch. He drops it on there, and then he comes over here and talks some more stuff. Yeah, we just want to see the settings, bro. Oh, I must have paused it. No. What's he saying?
Below it will.
All right, come on. No, seriously, I was not sure that this format was going to be a hit or not. I figured I'm just going to record myself learning, and I felt horrible for anybody who had to watch that. Okay, so here we go. But this is what it's really like. No shit. Color space transform. He's doing the ARIA. Let's just let him go through them here. At the risk of him changing something and moving on. Okay, his mouse moved away. So we have ARIA. I can't say that word, otherwise I'll have somebody talking to me. Do I have it? I don't have it. See, that's cool. He even said that all this stuff was supposed to be available to you. How old is this video? 481,000 subscribers. Jeez, dude. 6,000 likes. That's pretty cool. I got, 3 years ago. Shit. Now see, that's a problem. I don't know all I know. Let's just do this. He's basically, to give an overview of what we're doing here, is we're trying to correct the color. And when you look at this color grading 101 video, they do talk about how the first thing is managing your white balance and getting all the saturation, basically starting off with a good image, good video, good visuals. And then, where was I going? Gonna lose my train of thought. Drink of water. Oh yeah, the Rec 709. So the fact that this guy getting lost in my own stuff. The fact that he uses Rec 709 was actually brought up in this video. And so I think whatever we use, we need that. And that was, let's see if that's in here. There we go. Output color space, is that right? Oh, for crying out loud. Sorry about this. Rec 709 output. Yeah, whatever that thing is. Ari something. Let's just see if we have anything. Aces, Apple. Ari, wide. Is it seriously just my eyes? Oh, I see. It's just not having that Amazon word that I don't want to say. So let's just do this. Good enough. Input gamma. Some kind of logic something. I have no idea what the hell any of this does. I think that's right. Log C. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what it was. Here's an advanced thing, and this is why you're at risk by listening to me talk before I even watched his beginning tutorial, but I understood what's going on here because of these other videos, especially this guy. He's awesome. 13 years in Davinci Resolve, and it shows, well, he's a professional color grader. That's pretty slick. Why do I keep landing on this? I don't need this anymore. I'll bring it up if I ever do. Anyway, where was I? Is that going to be a thing I say all the time? Because I'm trying to talk instead of think. By the way, getting all this set up with OBS Studio and making sure I had proper transitions and everything was a lot more interesting than I thought. That in itself was a tech project. Okay. So, okay. I'm getting off track and I apologize. The log C thing, that was the whole point. Log is the image that is washed out as you see it right now. And he's doing a color correction thing to apparently bring it up to the standard of some other thing. So it's clearly there's a lot of image prep. And if you don't know image prep, that's probably something worth studying. I've taken photography a lot, but I don't know all the details of photography. And if you do, you're going to be you're going to have an advantage in this process. So I don't think the point being is that I should use log because I don't have a log image. Yeah, see, look how dark that is when I use log. God, I didn't even think about trying to click through these to see how they affected the image. No joke. What a concept, bro. Can I just use my arrow key? No, you cannot. What the hell did I just do? I went to the next image. All right, good to know. Took me a second. So does this even matter? Let's use timeline. What happens if I set this to timeline? Do I even notice a difference when I use this Rec 709? I know the guy said something about that being common, and then the other guy says something about Kodak film settings. But I definitely don't think we should be using log. I say we because you're here with me. And I apologize for that. But if you're still with me, I'm impressed. Ooh, that's not bad. Black magic. I tell you, Davinci Resolve is the shit. Such a cool tool. Ooh. I'm just going to go through these and pick what looks good. And honestly, I don't hate this. Reds, greens, a little bit of orange. Orange isn't even going to be visible for the most part. Let's see what that looks like. Get out. See what that looks like on the timeline here. I don't know. Stop doing that. Oh, there was a way to do Shift D to disable the... Oh yeah, look at that. Toggling between what I have set and what I don't. I don't like that. I think it's too reddish. I don't think I like that red. Let's go back to the timeline. Yeah, I kind of like the rustier look. For some reason, that jumped out at me and I needed to process it. It does work if I have a better green in the background. Check this out. This log 2. Now, here I go using a log image, but who cares? I don't think it matters. For me, it's not going to matter because I'm not doing this for anyone professionally by any means. This is art. And yes, I'm going to make some title sequences, and this is helping me get to the basics. Let's see. Does this matter? Ooh. God. What if we use... You see the log? I'm just going to stop worrying about the log. Design film. Oh, I like that. Supposedly, what this is doing is mimicking like the actual chemical process of film. At least basically that's what I gathered. Did I just match the sound of that car as it drove by? With my... Weird. Didn't know I do that. Okay. The whole point of this is to create a gallery. I think this is good enough. Let's test this thing we were going to test a while back. I created a still. Yippee. I'm going to go to timeline 1 and I'm going to drag that onto... Oh. There's a way to do it, I thought. Who did it? Fuck. Was it? Wait. This one. Let's try this. Booge. Okay. Okay. I kind of like that. I don't like how this is orange here, but let's go to this one now and see what happens if I drag this one onto here. That's what happened, right? Boom. Okay, it's clearly using the same one, so I thought you drug it onto here, but it's clearly in the image, and I guess it applies to the one you have selected. Let's see what happens if I do it this way. Ooh, yeah, totally that's what happens. So whatever image you have selected here, this applies to it, and I don't like what I just did. Voila, because what I just did was I removed the mask node that I have here by applying Senior Birdie from the basic timeline. Is it a raven? Is it a crow? Does it matter? He's cool. And I'm gonna freaking lose my shit if I keep hitting my timeline like that, or my taskbar. Okay. I like this look. I think the thing that I wanted to do was look at it in the main timeline to see how the composite version's going. I've got both versions using the same. We've made some progress. We've colored the birdie. I got 2 versions of the birdie in the timeline here, and 2 skulls to test. Orangey looking with greens and reds versus bluey looking with greens and reds. I don't like that this yellow shit's getting in the way of both of these. So I'm going to... Hey, I wonder if this is how it really works for production scenarios, where I can go back to my basic timeline and go into color, and then let's see if I can remember this process of adding a mask. Can I add a mask to just this? I would like to think I can. So let's right click, add an alpha output. Let's add another node, add a node, add a serial node, and we're going to call this mask. And then we're just going to connect this to that. Then you go into this menu and you get the gradient. Oh, and you just pick it. Just pick it. Okay. And I can just fade that nasty shit right on out. Oh, you can even... This is cool. I love data. I used to hate data. Then I realized what you can do with data, and then I started falling in love with it, and now I live and breathe it every freaking day of my life. It's how I make a living. This is why I like art stuff. What was I doing? I got distracted by data. Oh, you got to be in the mask window to see it. Look at this. Woo. Okay. The point that I was trying to make was watch what happens here as I transition. You're seeing the darker parts of the image fade down, and then as I move over to the lighter stuff, all that funky orangeness goes away. So you can almost tell my image is out of balance. Dude, I got a new perspective on white balance. White's in here somewhere, I'm sure, but oh no, I made that damn thing too long. There we go. Oh shit. Can I move it? Oh no. Here, let's just undo. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. I love Control Z, don't you? Alright, so I think I really just wanted to fade this out. But anyway, the whole point was, you can see there's something about this image that's a little hot. And my guess is it's these guys. And my guess is if we just shrunk this down, you'd watch them disappear. Look at that. See? Visual data. I don't think they've been a problem. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to go ahead and just hide this and go back to my curves. I mean, this is prettier, but curves. I got to go to my I need to label this. Curves. Now I understand the importance of labels. This is my color stuff, right? Effects. Yeah. And this is my mask. So cool, we got kind of a cool little shindig going with the mask to hide the ugly parts. I've got my color stuff, some more color stuff, and then just the basic starter node that I'm afraid to delete because it seemed to act funky last time. So if I go to my gallery, I think I'm going to delete this because I like this one. Oh shit. Oh yeah, there we go. It's got my shadow. I'm just looking at... Oh, I see. When you... Huh. Oh, I was looking at this and saw that it had the... Yeah, whatever. The area that I just hid was in this image and it threw me mentally. Sorry about that. What are we doing, bro? We're going to take this new still that we created with that, and we're going to hop over to the new timeline, or the main timeline, and we're going to select this guy, drag this on. Hell yeah. And then we're going to select this guy and drag this on. Hell yeah. The floor is funky, though. Do we need to fix this guy? Not yet. We're not worried about that. So, this is the one that I was really focusing on at first. Let's just kind of evaluate where we're at with this. I'm saving. Okay. Make this bigger. Be impressive. Yeah, good enough. Let's back up. That image is not moving much. I find that annoying. Especially the fact that I keep calling it an image. Okay, birdie, look at the skull and go, what? It'd just be hilarious if he took a shit right there. Right as I said that. Could I animate that? Little birdie turdy splatting on the fence. Gross. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now, I don't mind the look of this. It's not as ominous as I wanted, at least saw in my brain, my mind's eye. And I think that one of the things that I'm not sure about is the bird itself. Let's go to the basic timeline and look at the bird. It's not bad. I mean, it's cinematic, I guess, right? It's not very artistic, but I definitely think it's more cinematic than it was before. We can go back here and do Shift D. There's a huge difference in the effect. This definitely feels more movie-like. Probably a little overkill, but that's okay. We're back in timeline 1. I want to go here. And let's see. Need to turn on my lights. It's getting dark. I think I want to work on this skull image now. And I think what I'm going to do is the same approach where I go back to the basic timeline, get on this skull, get into the color stuffs, and add a node. Ooh, I see Alt S is as simple as it takes. Add a node. There it is, Alt plus S for serial node. Only my keyboard's kind of hidden by my microphone. I guess I could use my laptop. So yeah, let's just do curves. Let's just see what we can do with curves without dealing with all the film malarkey. I get the value in that though. It gives you that little extra edge. And again, I may not be able to see the things that others can. I'm not blind, but I mean, yeah, look at that. That's definitely nice. And I'm thankful for that, by the way. Blurry vision is nothing to complain about. I think that's cool. Maybe. You know, maybe in this one, let's try something like, this is clearly, this is probably AI generated. I don't remember the image itself having AI mentioned anywhere. Yeah. Okay, so side note, I try not to use AI very much because I love creating videos with AI, but man, what a pain in the ass it is. Watch my video about what it really takes to make AI videos. If I did this type of thing for that, then you would have been like laughing and bored at the same time. Anyway, I think that the whole point that I'm aiming for here is just to see if this is a little creepier. If I go here, do Shift D, definitely add some ominence to it. Oh yeah, the point that I was going to make was I wanted to add another node to use like effects of film grain and stuff. Box blur, radial blur. We got film grain. False color. Here we go. Here we go, film grain. Boom. Oh man. Not yet, bro. I'm not willing to pay for that. Sorry. Well, It's something that they mentioned in the advanced tutorial, I think, and did not mention that it was part of Davinci Resolve Studio, which I do not own. I almost got it for Christmas, but I decided to get a hard drive, which has been incredible. I wouldn't be able to make this video without it. I will do a review on that most likely very soon. It's a Crucial X9 Pro, and it was spendy, $189 for 2 terabytes, but I'm able to work now, which is great. I'll tell you all about that in another video. I didn't apply this. I didn't create a still. I was too busy talking, jackwagon. So go back to the basic. Oh, for crying out loud. Create a still. There we go. And then we go back to timeline 1. I haven't used multiple timelines before. This is the first time. It turned out to be pretty handy in this case. I didn't expect it to be as handy as it is, so now I want to drag this, because I have this guy selected, I drag this on here. Ah, frickin' Christ. Probably try and cut that, sorry about that. Hope that wasn't offensive. Yeah, I'm gonna say things that are offensive, maybe. Certainly didn't, can I copy this node? I don't see a copy, but I'm going to use Control C just in case. And I'm going to go back to the basic timeline and hit Control V. Ooh, what happened? I had a node selected. Oh, so then let's do this. So what happened was I pasted it on top of the existing node, which is not what I wanted. It only applies the color grading to that portion of the image. So I'm going to right click, add a node, add serial, then we'll paste it. And since we've done that, doesn't seem to be doing what I thought it. Oh, I know why. We pasted the node, which was the goal. But then I gotta right click, add an alpha output, and see how we're getting some practice in this stuff. Alright, yeah, I guess I flipped this image on the birdie. Cool. Is my mask a little too close to the face? I kind of think it is. We'll come back and tweak that if we need to. Maybe not. Maybe that's good enough right there. Let's go back to the main timeline. I can still see the full face. Alright, go back to color. Delete this node because you're totally pointless, bro. Grab still. And then we will go back to timeline 1. We've got that selected. And we'll drag it on to here. And it seems like it's working. Is that looking the way I'd want it to look? I'm kind of like, I'm watching the light shimmer because the lights aren't as let me talk through what I'm thinking, where my mouth does not keep up with my brain very well, so this is probably going to be harder than I expected. But I mentioned before that this image has the whites in the lights that are causing this, what seems like an imbalance in but I wasn't really worried about them. And I think the main reason I'm not so worried is because it's right next to the brighter skull. And when you look at the skull image, it also has that same, I mean, it's almost hard to tell. You can see a huge difference in the curves because of the color variation. Like the color are much more dynamic and a wider range of colors in this image. Video. Just replace the word video with image or image with video. You get the drift. But these are very, very similar in this, and I think that's part of this lighting here. So me talking is making me forget the whole point of what I'm thinking. I'm watching how the light plays with the skull as this goes. I mean, I like the fact that you get the light on the crow. This just needs to have a little more something for me to be happy with it. It's too boring. It's darker, it's more ominous, but I think I want to add some color. So here's a thing to try. I'm going to come back to this, which has this image thing in it, and let's create a new node. I don't know if I should create the node before or after that. Let's test it. And I'm going to call this one color. Now, if I think about a color wheel, red and green are good. The blue is kind of, well, let's just go find a color wheel and get the old classic. Open up. God. Here we go. Okay, red, green, secondary colors. Blue is in this triadic thing, so we got red, green, blue, and yellow, so I can have sort of a yellowish color. So I can keep blue and yellow, which you'll notice there's lots of blue and orange going on in a lot of cinematic stuff. I've noticed it everywhere since I have been doing this, or at least studying this at all, which is like literally a day, yesterday. But I'm thinking I'm going to add some color to this by coming into the HDR. Nope. Coming into this, and I'd like to have the wheels. And I'm going to set the offset of this to be, I don't know, I think I'm going to play with it. Let's just do that. Let's go to some extremes. Let's see some blues, see some yellows, greens. Kind of liking. Is that cool to have it? Is that cool to have it? What am I trying to click on? Here we go. I'm not a fan. You know, I want to make this bigger. God dang it. Let's try my trackpad and make this bigger. But I can't drag this down. I can hide the clips if I don't want them. Gonna go any bigger? Nope. Oh, for crying out loud, what did I just do? Just use the dropper for something. Hide the gallery. Pull the nodes over. For crying out loud, getting that mouse just right. It's nuts. Alright, just need it a little bigger. And I'm trying to think. Let's do some color boosting. Color boost. What color did we use? Yeah, that didn't look good at all. I like this. I can just kind of explore variations of the colors. I honestly don't really like where this is going because and I feel like it's the bird causing it. I don't. Maybe we did have some yellow in the color wheel, so maybe that's a little better. Let's see a bigger version of that. Yeah, I'm not super happy with that. What happens if we hop over here? Golly, what do I want to do? Reset. Tint. Temperature. Yeah. I'm going to kind of go back to the bird. Let's bring open the clips. Go back to the bird. Go back to the levels. I just feel like there's something about this bird that's not working, because I'm going to reset this node, because I don't know if I'm going to add much color, because honestly, I slapped this thing together yesterday just to make sure before I started recording that it was going to do something cool without me knowing anything other than just setting up the project, and it looked really much cooler than it's looking right now. So I want to get back to where I was, and I think I need to move things around a little bit. One thing that they warn is don't go too dark on things, because I mean it's easy to go darker, and because of the image you're just gonna end up with weirdness here. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, there was something I wanted to check if I muck with these settings. Let's make it really bad and then go back to timeline basic and see if it messes with this. Cool. So I still have that memory of where I was in case I screw this up so bad that I really hate it. This was intentionally screwy, so I'm just not loving. God, I hate that. Seriously, how long is this going to be? More greens. You know, maybe the color problem is with the bird. Oh yeah, that's the freaking key right there. Because if I like that rusty look, and I want that rusty look there, then I gotta come to this guy and make him rusty too. So I could see that being a factor. And then lift has something to do with darkness. I don't understand that at all. Okay, so it has something to do with the darkness color. So like the shadows are more bluish and purple in here.
Someone was detected at your port.
Getting a delivery. Yeah. So this is interesting. I can make my shadows a little more yellow. And my... Well, I'm going to pause here to get my delivery because I got my Moen Smart Water Valve replaced, which was really awesome of Moen. It's a $650 valve, and they replaced one after it started leaking. So thanks, Moen. Gonna go get that now. Okay, I got my delivery and realized I had my timeline rolling when I left because I hit the space bar. Oh yeah, I was going to mention that you might have heard my security system telling me someone's detected at your porch. You may have barely heard that, but my ring thing, if you ever want me to go over any home security and smart home related stuff, leave a comment, because yeah, I mess with that stuff, but I keep it minimum. Keep it to a minimum because of security reasons. I mean, don't even get me started. When you can unlock wireless locks, you kind of question the validity of them. Anyway, so let's get back to the Crow. So I think one of the things that I'm really learning here is that for me to make these tie together, I'm gonna want to bring these colors, the colors of each image, to an appropriate range for whatever look I'm going for. I mean, I'm kind of wanting more of a purplish, reddish kind of feel to it. I'm not sure what each of these does very much, but as per usual, I will play around with it and see what I can find as far as what I like. I'm kind of thinking it's time to move on. I've learned a lot from what we've done so far. Let me reset all these things, and I get that. So just to kind of go over what I've learned, when we applied the film and all that, it can definitely make some cinematic, basic footage much more cinematic. So Control D so I can see this. Yeah, anyway, it's much, the color's definitely cooler, but the two together aren't working as well as I'd like yet, and I think that I need to pick a color scheme to go with, and I think what I'm going to do is hop over to these guys to see what color scheme makes sense, because I've got two cloud scenes with birds, and then I've got my crow. I mean, yeah, I do plan on coming over here, but I don't like that skull as much. I get it's more realistic, but I like how this feels better. Even if I were to mask this and everything, this is just my opinion. I mean, honestly, I got out of design for quite a while because design is really an opinion. Like, it's subjective. Everybody likes different things, which is great. You might love this, and I'm not even done yet. It's okay, but I really kind of want to. I just want to make it better. So, what are we gonna do? Let's take a look at this. Let's go global. See if we can muck with some things here. I am gonna go over to the other image, but just to kind of leave this at least somewhat a bit more cohesive. Is cohesive the right word? I think it is. It fits. It's in unison. This feels blurrier. Yeah, I mean, okay. Guess we'll just see how that goes. See how the light plays on the... It's just too slow. I want to speed this skull thing up, but we're not making a sequence. We're just mucking with the colors. Birdie's a little too red now, but let's hop over to this one. This, to me, is a prime example of ominous. Like, I've always wondered, are birds just smart enough to stay the fuck away from these things? I mean, that would suck. Horrible. But this just feels ominous to me, just like this does. Clearly, this one's got lots of blues, and this one's more of a gray with some browns. So let's try working on this one first. I'm not going to worry. Actually, I should worry about the fact that the way I have this composite set up, I'm using color burn. And color burn is fine for this, but what happens when we apply color to the underlying image and change the color? It looked good for what I was doing, but let's just test this out. Let's go ahead and do add a node, and we'll I really like the levels. I just find that that's an intuitive way for me to get these images dialed in. And, oh, for crying out loud, I almost made a huge mistake. I was looking at this color here and thinking, wow, this is kind of narrow. I needed to be clicking on that, and I just added a node to the birds, which probably isn't going to do squat because they're nothing but black spots. So what I need to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go to the basic timeline, and I'm going to go to this image here, and I'm going to go ahead and create a still so that we can add it. Keep it like memory. Am I right? Memories. Ooh, node label. That's what I wanted. I was debating on whether or not I was going to sing. Levels. I loves me some levels. Is this just because I've done this kind of thing with images that I love this thing? Because it seems weird that anyone would love this. Ooh, now we're getting there. Look at that. Get ominous, biatch. Ooh, man. Okay, so one thing we're not going to be doing is adding text, but man, I could see how this would be like, okay, here's where your text... Ooh, yeah, here's where your text goes. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh. Holy crap. So, as the timeline moves to the next image, it jumps you. Okay. Oh, you can loop this. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Distractions. Lift. Are we in Kansas anymore, Dorothy? It's starting to look a little like Kansas. I think I want more of an S. I think it's safer to be S-like. Ugh. This just wants to be stuck to something. So it's clearly not my mouse. You can either have it down on the bottom and drag it left and right, or you can drag it up and down, but you can't drag it left and right when you're not on the bottom. Learned that just now. So, how are we going to make this look cool? We don't need to worry about... I don't think I have anything to worry about there. And I think I just need to play around. I don't want to wash out the birds with too much darkness. I want this to be brown, so there's something. Let's hop over to the main timeline. Oh, for crying out loud. Basic. Let's just create a still to test with. Go to basic timeline. Select the mill or whatever, turbine, and see how this looks with the... Oh, that's not bad. Let's go look what that looks like in here. That's kind of cool. And if you had text, then it'd be down in here in the darkness. You got a little bit of orange highlights. You got some bluish, and then massive contrast. I didn't expect that. But I want to play with the colors a little more. So the color burn does not seem to be making any difference whatsoever. Barely any difference whatsoever. I can try different darken. That doesn't even affect the image at all. So I think I'm going to go with darken. I need to put my glasses on just to make sure. Have you ever seen crows swarming around downtown? Crows are ridiculous at a specific time of year. It's usually in the fall, I believe. And they're everywhere. I swear to God, they could have filmed the birds with it. This reminds me of that, but these are not crows. It almost looks like there's a bird sitting on that. That's funny. So let's go back to the color thing. I think I like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and I can fix this over here. I think what I want to do is add color node. Just play around with color. Add a node. Add a label. They must have been using keyboard shortcuts when I was watching people do this, because I don't see or they just right click and do stuff real fast. Color. We're making some color here. That's what we're doing. So let's go to the color stuff. HDR. Lift. Gamma. What the hell? I don't really know any of this stuff to know which one's the best to use, to be honest. More videos to watch, I guess. Okay, so we're looking at dark, shadow, light, global. Yeah. Offset, gain, gamma, lift. Gamma is... God. I'm gonna do that. Let's just go with the offset. I think that's a better way to handle global. I mean, kind of give you that, oh, you know what? Let's reset that. And before we do that, freaking A in that dropper. Let's just delete this because this was temporary. Delete. All right. Let's hide the gallery and bring out another node. And we're going to add a node called... I don't know what CTs would have used. Color transform. I'm going to go to the effects. Color diffuser. Cinematic. There's a lot of stuff in here. Color space transform. And let's see how this affects our image. I don't know. For some reason, I feel compelled to use the Rec 79 or 709 that was in the video color grading 101, the first one here. Versus whether or not we're let's see, I'm just talking and I need to be trying things out here. Maybe I need to use a different... Okay. I mean, is that cool? You know, that's interesting. I don't hate that. I don't like that. Not much different than the original. I wish you could use the arrow key. Kind of like arrow down. You can, but you're not applying it when you do. Super cool feature that would be added to Davinci Resolve. Could be added. You know, I don't really know that this is working as well as I'd want it to. It's not doing anything spectacular. So I think I'm going to drop it. I think I'm just going to drop this node altogether. I guess that's one of the lovely things about nodes is I can just say, see ya. And then come back here. Gonna go sort of a sepia tone, I think. Did I mention before that I got out of design because design is subjective? I'd actually gotten into where I use nothing but grays, monochromatic color schemes when I'm doing like UX design. It's blacks, grays, and whites. That's it. Because I got sick and tired of people destroying some of my best work. They're like, oh, let's change this color. It's like, no. Did you go to school for color theory? Even if you didn't. But the client gets what the client wants. That's not too shabby, I guess. It's kind of a... Oh... What is that called? Like Dorothy, Wizard of Oz feel in the beginning. So sure, I guess, why not? Let's go ahead and keep this. I'm going to go ahead and grab a still of that. And then I'm going to go back to the main timeline. And I'm going to select my windmill, and I'm just going to drag this onto it. And then I'm going to come in here and see how this looks from the beginning. That's not bad. I feel like I need more to give it some vibe I'm looking for, but now see that now this no longer matches, and I know that I like this. I could make it any color I want, really. But I think what I'm going to do is come back to the bird and the skull to make them fit that sepia idea. So let's do that. What happens if... It's not going to happen like you think it's going to, because the color scheme for the bird's completely different than the color scheme for the windmill. But let's just see what happens. Nothing worth keeping. I really want to see this effect with the composite image, and I think it's a little trickier to navigate when you're doing them individually. So I want to pair them up like this, keep them side by side. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on that. My curves here. You know what I need to do? CT. Is this... You know, I don't even... I think I'm going to remove this. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And I need to keep the mask, and I'm going to go ahead and add another node for color. And we're going to take this and hop on over to the primaries color wheel. And we'll go sort of that sepia look. Again, I've got this one here to reference. But I also got a lot of muck somewhere. So I wish I could zoom in to show, but you see the HDR thing there, that's telling me that I've got some stuff. Oh well, and so are these little orange dots. Nice. So I could come back and reset all these? Maybe a better way. Yeah, but that's cool. It tells you through the node that you got curves on here, or you have an HDR adjustment. And I wanted to remove any color I had there so that I can control the color on this node. And I'm gonna head for that sepia color again. Try. And it's just god awful. Okay, so if I were thinking about this like a story, this would be sort of the environment we're in, right? The birds are flying around. Sure, they're flying by a windmill, but they're in the dark and dreary sky, and it's sort of brownish. So then we could assume that one of those birds is sitting on a fence. So maybe our story's coming together. And there's clearly death, because, I mean, look like somebody's going to die. And the skull kind of provides that ominous feel to it. So I really need to work on this color. How do I do that? He says, tint, hue. Let's just play around until we get there. We want sort of that copper sky. I don't know how much green we want. Neither one of those made much of a difference for me. Just go to the maxes and see what happens. Darkness. Heading into this realm of... Didn't like that. Shadows. Maybe... A little too red. Man, it's like you can go super extreme or just super subtle here. One of the get-ups on the third video here, this advanced one, this guy, check out his setup, man. Whoa, he's got that expensive hardware. He ain't playing. Oh, pause face. How can I make this more like that? So this is my curves. So let's see if I can tweak my curves at all. What happens if I just disable them altogether? Just trying to use my mouse. I'm just trying to find some way to get that same copper feel. And that's proven to be a little harder than I've expected. This isn't too bad. I like kind of where this is going. Maybe I maybe I redden this up a bit. Let's kind of see where we can take this, see if we can find some kind of medium ground. This feels funky. But it's... I think we're about to have some sirens. Yep, let me, just keep going. And, let's hop over here. Curves. Oh, I have two curves. What I need to do is change that label to mask. Ooh. And this is the color, and we can see that the orange dot's got the settings here. Okay, so we're kind of heading into that copper zone. A little purplish, a little bluish, a little more yellowish. Golly, what do I need to do to get that right? I mean, it's at least looking a little more cohesive as a single image now. What happens if I come back here and make this a little more bronzy? And I might be wrong, but the thing that I applied to that to get that color, I thought was that CT thing. I deleted that shit because that just felt more annoying than not. So let's just come over here and see if we can do this. Why do I have levels set on this node? There we go. And then let's look at this and see more bronzy. Man, that is hard. Oi. It's getting closer. I really want to tweak more levels. Just feel comfortable there. Bring in some more of these reds. But darken it. No. That's washing it out. No. I think I'm going to move over here. I guess we can keep this on the levels node. Let's change the color of the darkness with lift. Oh, what's this do if I went this way? Oh, it's not too bad. No. Gamma. Sound like a freaking sorority. Fraternity. Sorority. Yeah, whatever. Ooh, check that out. Ooh, toxic air. Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. Not green, but I feel like that. And now we're peeking up here in some reds. I really feel like I need to bring those down now. I don't know, is it too saturated? Is that the word I'm looking for? What happens if I sort of It's getting closer, but it's a little dreary. So what happens if I use this? Ugh, God. I didn't expect that. What if we go... Oh, God, man, that's just getting... Clearly, I'm way up in the reds. You can see that on the scope here. Woo! Woo! Hello, green. Hello, blue. Yeah, let's just reset that. We don't need that. In fact, I don't think we need any of these, do we? And I'm not sure I'm liking... I mean, we're back to where we started from. Poop. But I think the offset is the main one that we need. So, that's pretty damn close right there, I'd say. Let's go see how that looks tied together here in this. All right. Fire away. Okay, creepy. Kind of creepy. Not super creepy, but the video itself is like, dear God, those poor birds. What are they, stupid? Yeah, that works. Shocking. Alright. This isn't horrible. It's not what I was expecting. I feel like we want to add a little more stylized things to it. I don't know, film grain or something. So maybe we need to explore that. I have not gone into this next sequence, and you can clearly tell. But I am feeling pretty good about this and this, feeling like they're connected. Whether or not we fade or jump between the two is a question of the day, but okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about what we've got so far, and I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and make an executive decision that I'm not a fan of that skull, and I just don't care for this. Come on now. I don't. Golly. Do I need to hit control? Not shift? There we go. And I don't know that there's much of a point for this, but maybe I'll just go ahead and let's just move this over here and start working on the bees next, because I think this has got cool potential, and it's already in that color scheme. It's very close to it. So I feel like we might keep this one here as a challenge to see if we can bring it into... in fact, let's just do that challenge super quick by not even worrying about node structure or anything, and just come in here and muck with the levels. And golly, this is a very narrow graph here, so what's the frickin' point of any of this? I mean, I don't see any point in any of this other than just darkening it up. Let's take the whites and the shadows and super quick, bro. Add some color to it. And add some color to it. Now let's see what happens if we mess with the levels. I mean, it needs to be darker and less red. I mean, is this worth it? I don't know. I think let's just put that on hold for now and come back to the bees. We got 3 potentially decent images going together with full-on composite. The bees are set up with a soft light, and there's a book under here. So there's a book with the bees. The book and the... Hey, look, we're doing the birds and the bees. All right, that was unexpected. Let's just hop right in here and get to work, man. Let's do our little... We're getting a lot of practice with this masking thing, which was unexpected. Add the alpha, do the thing, go to the masky, click of that. Hey, there we go. Make sure I save all this shit. And then we will go woo, because I don't want bees above. I want to keep the bees pretty low, like right in there. Like there's something funky about that. Is it just me? Am I the only one who sees this as funky? I need to move this back and rotate this a little more. Try and get the... I mean, it's almost like the bees are climbing into the book. It's kind of freaky. I guess we'll just see what happens here, but I wonder if I can add another mask. I bet I could. Bet you I can. Add another node. Add a parallel node. What happens if I do this? Oh, you can only have one. Well, screw that. How can I have dual masks? Serial node? Oh no, because you can't do the dual thing. God dang it. So, alright, whatever. Maybe we won't worry about it, because in the interest of time, you know, I could manually mask this thing, but for now, let's just keep going, and let's go to the book. And color grade the book. Let's just do it all on one node, because, I mean, I think this has been long enough. We're running out of time for me to do all this tonight, so I'm going to just focus on levels now. Very interesting how this scope looks. Freaking weird. Huh. I need to keep this same feel. The bees. I don't know. Did I not do something with this already? I thought I did. What happens if yeah, the bees start becoming harder to see, but that's kind of okay. Maybe I need to bring some of the whites down. But they get muddy. Let's just tone it down a little bit. Okay, that's interesting. Alright, so lifting the blacks a little helps our bees crawl into the book. It's like they're trying to become part of the story. They desperately want to be part of the story. I do feel like that's muddy as hell. That just feels weird. But that's what's causing the bees to come through. I might go with a full-blown darker look to it. And then change the composite mechanism or manurban. Instead of soft light, do something like multiply. Just kind of go through these. So you at least get a preview here. Linear dodge. Ooh. That's dull. That's dull. That's... I feel like I need to take some green out of that, but maybe not. I mean, that does not match. So what would we do? I don't mind how the bees look here. And I feel like this is the golden the money shot right here, where this bee's crawling on the book. I mean, that's just wicked. Although I love the idea of the bees trying to become part of the story, but that one bee right there, this seems creepy. Yeah. Oh, there they go. Get me in the book. Get me in the book. It's a swarm. I'm like a freaking kid. Okay, so I think I like where this is going. I'm down to just a couple more minutes to do this, so... Let's jump to the levels. Jump to the levels. Nope. Never do that again. I think I need to keep this looping so I can see the effect it has. Yeah. So I'm bringing some blues in. By doing that, but do I want them? You can see my computer's having a hard time as I adjust the levels. It takes a second for the scope to match. I'm guessing it's my computer. I mean, I'm recording and putting some heat on my graphics card. I mean, what's this look like without... Hello? Complete trash. It's not bad. It's closer to this. I think I need to, what if I just reset the levels? No. I like where that's going for the most part. Maybe not quite so much. I think the thing that I really want to do is go adjust the color. And it feels super bright. So can I bring the highlights down? Yikes, I right clicked on accident. That's a mess. That's not pretty. Let's just reset that. Reset the whole freaking node, or whatever this is. Stuff. Didn't mind having a little of that. Let's go in a little bit more into the greens because we got some greens in this. I want to tie those together. I'm not loving it. I mean, it's got potential. I can keep working with this, but I am running out of time, so let's take a look at them in sequence here. Birdie birdie with the skull, bees with the book. Don't even really see the book anymore. I feel like I need to change my composite approach. Exclusion. I don't hate that. Maybe I'll mess with the mask a little more. To tighten it up a little bit. I mean, I like how they fade into the book, so I don't want to lose that, but I really need... Oh! Can't I use a circle? No, you gotta use the gradient. Mark. If I can have a circle here. Leave me a comment if you know if I can put a circle here. Think that would be amazing because then I can control the edges. I think what I'll do is have the bees just stay in the shadows and climb up in the book a little bit. And another delivery. Someone's literally at my door, but I don't want to talk. Yeah, I don't mind this. Since we're getting close to wrapping up, let's go ahead and do this. We got that, we got that, and we got this. I kind of think this is working for the most part. I do want to bring the levels down or something. This book is just, I think it's the sun that's intense. And I don't know how to manage that without dulling it, and I think maybe that's all I needed right there. Yeah, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and just imagine we could do some cool overlays and things, and I think that's part of what would be next, is sort of tying it together.
Someone was detected at your front yard.
And they're leaving. All right, so let's just play this through real quick because we're literally out of time. So it's not too bad. Sort of a Wizard of Oz back in the Dorothy days before she runs into the tornado. Birds are ominous as they're flying around, somehow not getting hit. And then jump to this guy. Color scheme's closer. Still would like to tweak this a little bit better, but it's getting there. And I may trim the video. Clearly, these are all really long. They don't need to be this long, especially if we're doing like a title sequence. We'd be done long before now. But that bird looking at that skull is exactly what I love, because he's just like, what are you doing there, bro? And then this is kind of takes you a second to realize what's happening. Very interesting. I do want the bees to be in the book more, but this works for now. So, all right, well, I learned some things. I hope you did too. I mean, that was my afternoon worth of color grading practice, and I'm feeling pretty good. I think you'll be able to see some of this stuff in some upcoming art. I've got lots of plans, so stick around if you're interested in learning more. If you like this kind of thing, definitely let me know, because I don't know, I was kind of uneasy about doing it, and if you find this approach where I just think through and navigate the challenges live almost, but recording it, I could do live sessions, but leave a comment if you think this kind of format was cool. I'll try and break it up into chapters and everything so that it makes it easy and to jump to a point, and I'll do my best to edit it so everything's nice and clean. Easy to see is my point. So with that, I'll say thanks a million for hanging out with me while I learn this. I can see where this is going to be a lot of fun, and I can definitely see where I need to be careful how I bring, or what videos I select. Okay, so today is the next day from the 2 hours video that I just slapped together completely raw, and I wanted to give you an update on something I realized, which was I went to export this, and I realized there was something funky with the birds, but I'm finding that leaving the screen this small kind of left me without the ability to see some things. So what I did was I published that, and then I saw it in full screen. So let's take a look at what we made here. And you can kind of see the birds in a certain way look fine, but what I found was some birds still have some blue, so I could have done a better job of correcting the actual birds over that. This isn't bad, but as I was watching this last night on my phone, sitting there relaxing and just being like, okay, this isn't too bad, I've got some ideas, I decided, hey, I want to go ahead and turn this into an actual sequence, reduce the timing on some of this, and so that's going to be my next video. If you want to watch that video where I take these sequences and refine them and tighten them up, and then after that I'll even make some music. So if you'd like to see that, just watch this next video here and enjoy the journey, because it'll be another raw bunch of fun.